want to discuss today about our success series, and today I want to talk about a lot of success. Everybody has his own lot of success, has his own plan, a plan where you are climbing on your lot of success, where you want to go, you are the one who knows. Now, it's like a ladder leaning on a certain wall, and then you are climbing. So, my question today is, which wall is your ladder leaning to? This is one of the most basic questions I would have to ask, because in many ways, people make plans. You plan how you want your life to be. You plan your purpose in life. So basically, a lot of where your lot of success is leaning, it is much more geared to that, depending on what is your purpose in life. What do you value most? What will make you successful? People have different dreams. Some want to say they want to make a lot of money, they want to get the highest education, they want a best family. So what defines you? And that is what defines you, is what is your lot of success. Now, I have given two types of ladders and walls facing different walls. So basically in a life you see a ladder leaning to a wall, at least for support. So that wall is what really determines you and what you value as success. Steve Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, states that if the ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step we take just gets us to the wrong place. So, this is very true. If the ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step we take just gets us to the wrong place. So it's always good to identify what kind of wall. As I say, the kind of wall you are going to put your ladder to lean to, it has to take you to where you want to go. So, there are many walls. We can center our life in some external things. And the first one, you can be spouse-centered. You can have a spouse-centered wall. This is where a person centers his or her life around the husband or wife. So anything the wife says is what he wants to do. So if you lean your wall that you want to make your spouse happy, or you want everything to do with your spouse, then that is, we can say the wall you have is a spouse-centered wall. You have centered your life on your spouse, and therefore your spouse is the one who is the wall. So if you are a husband, you're centered on your wife. If you are the wife, is centered to your husband. Now, this one causes you depend on your spouse for emotional support. Then you become vulnerable to the moods and feelings of your spouse. If something goes wrong in your relationship, which is most likely that it will go wrong, then you will resort to sarcasm, criticism, and attack the other spouse as the cause of that, and many other things. So you are likely to do that. Because sometimes you can have a spouse who wants you to please him or her, and then you cut links from your extended family, you cut links from your friends to please the spouse. Now, if something happens in your relationship, because your wall was leaning towards that, that becomes dangerous because you have cut already links to other people. I got friend of mine who had married this young, beautiful lady. He thought he had got the best woman. So they stayed together, and with the time, the wife started telling him that I don't like your friends, I don't like the friends you hang out with. He started dropping friends, he's not returning calls. All of the time he's with the wife. They stayed for a couple of years. Then the wife started developing the marriage started developing a problem, and it finally ended in divorce. The man was so devastated because he did not have friends to lean to. He went out of depression. The friends were not there for him because he had cut links from them. It was a very tough period for him. And that is when he came to get a friend who he talked to, and he advised him that you can still connect afresh. And he made new friends, and they started connecting. They became a community person, and he was more like friends. So you can see what it can happen. With sports-centered, as the philosopher Martin Heidegger captured this one in his book, in his love letters to Hannah, and he said that why is love reach beyond all other possible human experiences, and a sweet burden to those seized in its grasp, because we become what we love, and yet remain ourselves. So that is what is one of the things where one of the walls is. I say something like you. Money-centered. Money-centered is another wall. Many people live this world. They only want just to make money, or they have to do anything. Life is centered in making or taking money, looking for money at the expense of family, body, conscience. All you have to do is money. Many people do this looking for money. Then after they have got all the money, they found that they never developed a relationship with their families. Their children are destroyed, the marriage is destroyed, friends are destroyed. You did not cultivate people around you. So money can be a very dangerous war. You know, when it comes to money, as John Maxwell puts it clearly, that when it comes to money, you cannot win. If you focus on making it, you will be called materialistic. If you try to but don't make any, you are a loser. If you make a lot and keep it, you are a miser. If you make it and spend it, you are a spendthrift. That's what he says. If you don't care about making any, you are unambitious. If you make a lot and still have it when you die, you are a fool for trying to take it with you. The only way to really win with money is to hold it loosely and be generous with it to accomplish things of value. I thought this was something John Maxwell, who is an author of many books, that captured. Really, money, you don't have to make money. Let money not be your master. Let money be your servant. So, and here is a practical example. One businessman wanted to make, all he wanted was to make or take money. So he was a shrewd businessman. He cut his friends, even in deals. And in the process he was making, or in all ways he wanted to make a deal. So he doesn't care about his friends, he doesn't care anything. He will grab customers from his friends he has known, the best deals, he will make sure he gets everything. And then he made tons of money. He reached up there, but he realized he does not have a friend. Even when he wants to get friends to relax with, nobody wanted to be with him. Nobody would invite, the other friends will not invite him to any party because they realized he was very shrewd. So he found himself very lonely up there. And that's when he came to realize that making money alone is not everything. Relationship matter. So if your lot of success is leaning towards the war of money, then that's a wrong war. You have seriously think about it. Another war you can easily get trapped to is possession-centered war. Your war is leaning towards acquiring possession. Have you ever seen people who have a lot of clothes? A new fashion comes, they want it, the best car, they want it, they want to buy clothes, they want to build homes, they want to have all of those things. You try to chase all of those things, possessions, you have possessions at the expense of very important things of building relationship. So this is one of the, are you that kind of person who only wants to have possession? It's one of the walls, and this would be a wrong wall for you to climb. So you can acquire all those. Your worth is in terms of possessions. That's what matters. But if something goes wrong, that you don't have these materials, material possessions, they can go away. You will get depressed. If that is where the lot of success was leading to. You know, I had known one politician who was very powerful. He controlled many businesses, acquired wealth through craft means. He became a billionaire. At one time, he was even invited to the Forbes magazine for an interview, but declined. Possibly because they were going to ask him hard questions how he acquired his wealth. At the end of towards the end of his life, he lived a lonely life, fearing because in his process of acquiring all these masses, he had killed even people to acquire the richness he had. So he lived a secluded life due to the fear of his enemies, that they would kill him. He was actually even used as a cell phone once and drops it away. And he could not even use the luxury, he had big cars, but he reached a time where he could use taxis. He would take a taxi, if he's going somewhere, stop here and gets another one. He wanted. He died of cancer, and he left behind a fortune for strangers to enjoy it. Even actually, he had prepared this coffin which was bulletproof. I don't know whether he feared that where he was going into hell, the people were going to shoot him. I really don't know why he has to do that. That is how sometimes you want to acquire all these possessions at the expense of relationship, and that's where it will land you. Are you like such a kind of person that you want? Okay, another one is here. Church-centered war. You know, even going to church is challenging because you can center your life through the church. One is occupied with going to church as a life scheduled event. Church going is different from personal spirituality. Don't mistake me here. If, as another author said, that you can be a churchgoer, but not spiritually developed. You get these people who will say, I was busy with the church, but cannot help mankind with the basic need. And you know, this one comes through the story of the Good Samaritan. If you see the people who passed on that people, one of them was a priest. One of them was a priest of the synagogue. People are preoccupied, they are talking about things about as the Bible teaches how we are supposed to live, and yet you cannot help. And that's what, sure, I have seen people who don't go to church, but they do much better. They can help mankind. But you go to church, you discriminate people. And when you are church-centered, you want to know, you start labeling people. You start labeling others. Those are the sinners. Those are the holy people. Those are the church members. Those are active, those are inactive members, those are liberal, conservative. Those are them. That we are a special people. And you know, this then creates a hypocrisy. Are you church-centered? Are you so occupied with just the normal routine of going to church and doing all these things, and then you say you are done? This is something very practical that you need really to think about, because a church sometimes can become an occupation to you, and when you start labeling people, you are even not doing what really the teaching of the Bible is, and you are just going to church. And you already think that the people who are members who you go to church with, they are the only people who will go to heaven. That is one of the things you need to watch, whether your success, a lot of success, is facing the wrong wall, the church. Just going to church, doing the normal routine, but not spiritually developed. That's something you need to look at yourself. Another one you can, where a wall you can lean to is work-centered wall, where your life is centered towards work. Everything is work. You want to stay at work, you want to do this and this and this all the time you're at work. You do it at the expense of the family. You miss even family outings, family vacation because of work. So that one, when you put all your life on that, that one is also very dangerous. So you have to watch that. Are you putting your work first before your family, before your friends, before any other things? Another one here is enemy-centered world. You know, in life, you can have friends, you can have enemies. Sometimes you can center your life around your enemy. How can you centralize your enemy? These are people, enemies are people maybe who treated you bad in your life, who did something wrong, then you label them your enemy. That's okay. That's life. You cannot love everybody. But must it be something you center your life? How can you center your enemy? You always think about your enemy. You always think what he did to you. It could be many years down the road, but it still is affecting you. Wherever you see this person, you become so bitter. You are carrying that bitterness in you about your enemy. So it occupies you. Even when you are sleeping, you are wishing something bad to happen to your enemy. Then that you are enemy-centered. Your success is leaning towards a war of your enemy. And that is very dangerous. Because you are carrying a lot of anger in you. And when you are carrying a lot of anger against your enemy, you are actually depriving yourself sleep. You will get even some hypertension because of that. You are having negative thinking, which is not very good. So really, search yourself. Are there somebody who you are having a grudge against? Somebody you label your enemy, that's okay. Somebody who did you wrong. If that comes to haunt you, you need to forgive that person. If you cannot have forgiveness on that person, I know sometimes people do bad things. Don't take me wrong. It's okay to be bitter, but where is it going to take you? It's good to surrender this person from your heart so that it cannot be centered in your life, you move on. I know forgiveness is bad when you remember what somebody has done for you. But it is always healthy that you forgive this person so that you can move on. Because the anger you are carrying is going to kill you. You know, as many others said that sometimes anger is like drinking a poison, hoping to kill your enemy. Or you can carry a hot metal in your hand. You want to throw it to your enemy. But remember, before you throw it to your enemy, it's going to burn your fingers. So it's always good to forget and move on. So this is dangerous because it will suck a lot of positive energy in you, and it will leave you with a lot of negative energy, and that is not what you want. Another one, neighbor-centered wall. Is your wall facing to your neighbor? Actually, there are people who only want to do, like, have you ever heard something about just competing with the Jonases? If your neighbor buys a Toyota Camry, you also want to buy a Toyota Camry. If your neighbor buys this, you want to buy this. So you are competing. If he brings a truck, you also want to have a truck. Have you ever seen people like that? There are people who live their life centered on, I'm not saying your immediate neighbor. You could be a friend. That my friend has gone ahead of me, so you want to do this because of your friend. If you center your life on such, that is very bad. You should only, you don't know where the Jonas has got their money from. Why do you want to compete with them? Have you ever seen people like that? Oh, yes, this, I need also to get this. You are competing with somebody. So some of that is what we call neighbor-centered. And then we have selfishness, self-centered world. You are so selfish. A person is so selfish, everything is me first. Just like the Dead Sea, which only receives but does not give. You know, there is a story I read in a book whereby people who are self-centered, they only want, if it's a praise, they want themselves to have that praise. They don't want anybody to have. They want to receive, but they don't want to give. And I give an example of the two seas in Israel. Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea. The Sea of Galilee gets water, but then also River Jordan leaves the Galilee to the Dead Sea. But the Dead Sea does not give out. Go there. There is no life. It's salty, no fish, nothing works in that water. But the Galilee, because it gives, is fresh as fish and everything. So to be selfish is just like the Dead Sea. You don't want your life like that. When you only want to receive and you don't want to give, that is what normally happens. So many people are self-centered in life. Human beings, they want to acquire all those things. So why am I talking about all these ones? The only thing I will leave with you, it is good to live a balanced life, to set your priorities right, to have principles which guide you. And you write what you want to do in life, understand your purpose, and then work towards that your purpose, and then you will reach your destination. That is, instead of just having one thing that you are leaning towards to, you need to put your life on correct principles, understand the purpose of life, and why you live here. You have to set up your goals right and follow your goals through. Then you will be leaning towards a ladder of success which is not leaning to any wall, but to the skies. Hi, my name is Josh Omandi, CEO, Managing Broker, Soft Landing Real Estate Services. We are located in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. We are a real estate company, and we serve the Twin Cities area and ETC environs. We provide services for sellers who want to sell homes and buyers who want to buy homes. Our excellent service speaks for itself. We have been in business for more than 18 years, serving metro area customers. If you want to buy a home or sell a home, feel free to call on us. We are member of National Association of Realtors, Minnesota Association of Realtors, and Minneapolis Association of Realtors. You will not be disappointed with our services. We promise our motto, we land you home softly. Thank you.